Yo, what is going on, my discipline over dopamine friends? It's your boy Jdun Trades with Team Bull Trading, and I hope you all had a blessed weekend. We are live and back in action with yet another Sunday watch list where I'm going to break down my favorite levels, stocks, and setups for this week. It is a big one, my friends, as we have our first rate cut of the cycle this week on Wednesday. We're going to break down what I'm looking for, what I think is going to happen, and some other data that you need to know about to trade safe and trade smart this week. Now to start this, let's go ahead and take a peek at what data we have this week. Monday, nothing really. Tuesday, again, nothing really. But Wednesday, we have our interest rate decision, which is either going to be a 25 basis point cut or a 50 basis point cut. And if you look at the odds, it's actually pretty crazy. We are, for the first time in a long while, not certain of what we're going to get. The last meetings, we've known that we weren't going to cut, or back in the day when inflation was very rampant, which I think it personally still is. We won't talk about that. But anywho, we would know we would add. But at this meeting, we're not entirely sure. The odds are around 50-50 at this very moment of whether it's going to be 25 basis points or 50. And again, I don't know how the market's going to react. I know what levels I'm going to watch, and I'm going to show you how you can watch those exact same levels. But historically speaking, rate cuts are not bullish. Now, I get it. It's different times. It's 2024, different situation. But just remember, typically speaking, these are not bullish. So the market very well could keep moving up. So Wednesday, we have that. Thursday, we have initial jobless claims. And then Friday, we have nothing. So being said, let's get down to business and what we're going to be watching. So on SPY this week, this is our weekly chart. We had a very strong volume week, higher green, aggressive buying, right into all-time highs in this resistance. So looking at this and looking at this whole zone, I think we're going to see a decent amount of resistance here on this 564 to 565-ish area up here. But if we can break and hold this, I think there's a very good chance we see a pretty straight shot up to 570. So for upside levels, that's what I'm going to first be watching. And remind you, this is all-time high, so I don't have any previous data to show you based on this. I personally don't love trading slow grinds up at all-time highs. I can do it. I've made money doing it many times, but it's not my favorite. So I'll be watching for that if we break above these highs to grind up to 570. And vice versa, if we get a move down, let's go to the daily chart here. If we get a move down, I honestly don't become bearish again, guys, until we break and hold. It's a little lower, but 540, and we can look for a move to 540 if we can break and hold below this 550 and this 552.4 area. If we can break below this zone right here, we can see a move to 540. Below 540, we got a lot of room to the downside. Right now, again, at this moment, this chart on SPY is looking bullish. So I'd like to see us break and hold this, maybe retest back down for a calls entry, right? We see maybe a move like this, retest back down, see higher. But I'm going to really let price action intraday dictate that. I'm going to choose discipline over dopamine and really be patient and strategic about my setups. So as far as SPY goes, that's what I got on watch. I think we could see some chop Monday and Tuesday, and the aggressive moves come Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Now, what could be a little more interesting is QQQ. Why? Because we're not at all-time highs, and I actually like that. So I think I might have some eyes on NQ and QQQ this week because of that reason. So if we look at this and look at this chart, let's start with the weekly, just because that's what we typically do. Strong, aggressive buying candle on volume with a pretty strong candlestick right here in price. So I'll personally be looking for, again, a break and hold above 480 can likely give us a move up to that like 485, 486 area. And above that, you'll notice we have a gap, I believe, in the daily, right? Above this 486 area, we have a gap up to 496. So we get some strong movement in tech. We get some buying coming in. I will be watching for that aggressive move up to fill that gap to 496. On the flip side, if we make a short term, like a lower high here, and we start moving down, I'll watch for a break and hold this 467 for downside bias, and then a real downside bias break would be like below 450. I'm not sure we get that this week, but if we can break these levels below, we have a pretty good amount of room to the downside. So again, I don't know what we're going to do Monday and Tuesday, but I do think that, if the market does what I think it will do, I personally would like to see us dip a little. We cut rates. People were thinking historically, oh, that means we're going to go down, and we could see some more upside before we eventually see more downside if we do. So that's what I personally think. Now let's go take a look at Tesla. Tesla looks like it's ready to go. Keeps getting these moves up, aggressive kills. Move up, aggressive kill. But if we can break and hold above this 235, we have a pretty straight shot to like 246 to 250 area. So watch for this move, guys, over this 235, 236 area. For a break and hold, we have a gap fill straight up to this 246. Look at the weekly chart here. Again, looks primed. Solid candle here, a little less volume than I'd like. But we basically bought this whole dip up. We're testing this resistance zone again. If we can break this, we got a nice clean move to 246 to 250. It'd be very, very glorious for us as traders to get some clean movement on Tesla, because personally, I haven't traded it that greatly this year, but could make a change. Let's look at NVDA next. Now, NVDA, not the best volume that I've ever seen, but still a solid candle to volume ratio. On this, I'd like to see us hold this like 120, and if we can hold this 120 area, pretty straight shot to 130, and above 130, we got our next resistance is all-time high. So bullish on NVIDIA unless we break below this like 105-ish. We break below this candle, break below 100. We like to see a pretty aggressive move to the downside as we'd have exhausted these buyers that were 100 before. And we'd likely move pretty quickly down. So, that will kind of dictate how QQQ is moving. NVIDIA's kind of unofficially became how QQQ moves. So I'm going to be watching that. I'm going to be staying super disciplined this week. Made 11,000 last week. Wasn't my greatest trading week in general, but still had one solid $9,700 day, another $1,200 day, and I only had 2 out of 5 trading days last week. So hopefully we can get some movement this week. Another 5-figure week. Choose discipline over dopamine. Keep moving on our discipline sprint. And guys, it all starts with routine. If you don't have routine, you are not going to make it as a trader or an entrepreneur. Build a solid routine. Become disciplined in everything you do. Keep promises to yourself. Become confident in yourself and what you do every single day. And you add those little pieces together. That is how you become successful at this. And you make progress every single day moving forward. If you can't do those things, you are not going to make it. You have to believe in yourself. You have to establish a set of non-negotiables that you complete and execute on every single day. And once you do that, you set those rules, you set those non-negotiables, you're going to see progress start flowing in like Niagara Falls. Trade smart, trade safe, and I'll see you guys inside Team Bull or on this YouTube this coming week. God bless. Have an amazing rest of your week, guys. Peace.